Hello everybody. So if you saw my first video about my story time with Hodgkins lymphoma, this will be like a part 2. If not, then if you want to see the first video, it's on TikTok. My username on TikTok is me and my dog and my horse. So I realized after I posted the video that I didn't really dive into the symptoms that I was having all that much. And they were pretty unusual as far as Hodgkin's lymphoma goes, until I got closer to the actual diagnosis. But it took, like I said, a little over 5 years for them to figure out what was causing the symptoms. So, besides the extreme exhaustion and fatigue, I was having seizure-like episodes. They actually thought I was having seizures at one point. They never really explained to me why I was having them. I always just kind of figured maybe because something, the tumor was growing on top of my heart, on my aortic arch. Maybe there was something electrical going on with my heart anytime it would grow, or if I turned the wrong way or something and it, was pushing on it. That's just my guess. I'm not positive. Um, so I was having the seizures, I was fainting. Like I said, I would have episodes where all of a sudden I would start to feel like I needed to bend over in order to relieve pressure. It felt like I couldn't stand up straight for any length of time. If I was at a grocery store, I'd be standing in line bent over the cart because if I stood up straight, I felt like I was going to faint. So that was happening a lot, and I was only 17 and a half, 18 when that started, and I'm walking around a store bent over a cart like a little old grandma. And let me think, what else was there? Itching. I was having a lot of itching, especially on my legs, but there was no rash. And that is excuse me, I've got Behçet's disease on the brain because I just got diagnosed with that. That is a Hodgkin's lymphoma symptom, but it was pretty much the only one that I had that was normal for Hodgkin's lymphoma until nearer the diagnosis. I started having night sweats and low-grade fevers. I'm trying to think what else besides the fatigue. And so the episodes, I used to call them episodes. I got one when I was driving, and I could feel it coming on because I would start to feel overheated and I would sweat. That was another thing. That was one of the first symptoms was my armpits would get soaked. I know that's gross. I'm sorry. But it was so embarrassing. No amount of antiperspirant helped. I would be at work at the restaurant and go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, like my shirt is soaked. It's just disgusting. And being a teenager and going to middle school, high school, kind of embarrassing, getting made fun of and stuff. Sorry, my dog just found a bug, so he's very excited. So sweating a lot. So back to these episodes that I would have. I was in the car one of the times and I was driving to work. This is when I worked at the Humane Society. And I started to feel really sweaty and weak, and I knew it was coming on, so I pulled over. And I felt like I was going to be sick. So I opened the door to the car because I didn't want to be sick in the car. And next thing I know, I'm waking up hanging out of the car. Um, and then I threw up and I started to feel okay. That was always how it would happen is I'd get sweaty, I'd pass out, um, I'd wake up, I'd get sick, and then I would start to feel better. But I always felt really fuzzy and weird um, for a while afterwards. So um, that was, just so weird. The doctors were like, these are such out there symptoms. My primary care doctor was like, there's definitely something going on. I'm doing research every night. She was amazing. She always stuck with me. It was the neurologists that I went to see that were sending me for psychological evaluations because I wasn't having seizures. They were pseudo seizures, is what they were calling them, um, which is basically, all in your head. But I was having seizures. They just weren't the typical, you know, brainwave type seizures. I still think it was because of the tumor pressing on my heart. Um, so I just wanted to let people know that there can be times when you have cancer or other diseases and they don't necessarily follow the typical symptoms that a lot of people have. Um, so, for anybody that is struggling, I just want you to know that, just don't give up. Keep fighting because it doesn't necessarily mean there isn't anything wrong if the labs are coming back normal. Because, like I said in my previous video, I had a blood cancer and my blood work was perfect. It just explain that to me. um, so, just that's my story. And I hope it helps somebody else. All right, bye.